Hello, everyone. Am I live now? I think I am.
Hi, my name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, we want to welcome you to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather to see the lectures and interviews organized by MindaliaTV.com. Today with us, we have Michele Snelling. Michele is an intuitive medium. She's an emotional, physical, and spiritual healing facilitator. She will be talking today about the art of manifestation. Before starting, we want to remind you that if you want to help other people just like you to have access to the content we share in Mindalia TV, there's a couple of things that you can do just by liking this video, leaving us a positive comment down below, and subscribing to our channel. That is the way you help us reach as much people in the world as possible. Also, while we are live streaming, we have the active chat. It's an excellent tool for you to interact with Michele. Just please follow the format. It's the word question and then the actual question that you want answered. And at the end of the lecture, Michele will be answering kindly. Without further ado, I'm going to be leaving you now with Michele. Michele, the camera is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. And thank you, Mindalia TV, for asking me to do this. I'm really excited about it. As Mirna said, I am Michele Snelling. I'm an intuitive medium and a coach. And really, at the base of it all,
can you put your microphone a little bit closer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that better?
It's better like that. And before without it, I think it's good too.
Is that better?
Way better.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm an intuitive medium and a coach, but first and foremost, I'm a human and I'm a lover of life. I really do love life. And that has happened for me really in the past 15 years when I really embraced this whole intuitive part of me and started living an intuitive life. And what that means for me is living in accordance with my intuition and the universe, God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it. And to me, that's magic. And that's what this is all about. Living in magic. I love that. And that is where we manifest. Okay? So I live my best life when I'm connected completely to my intuition and I'm manifesting from a place of magic. That's where we all live our best lives. That's where we all feel joy. That's where we all feel happiness. That's where we're really in alignment. Okay. So today we're talking about manifestation, the art of manifesting. And I coach people on this art all the time. And I've practiced this myself for really my whole life because we all practice manifestation in one form or another. It may not be the way that we're intending, but we all do practice manifestation. So I say the art of manifestation because I believe that to manifest how we really want, to manifest the things that we really want, to manifest all the magic and the abundance and the prosperity, we need to be aware. We need to have concentrated focus. We need to have complete intention and the ability to know that it truly is a creative process. When we are manifesting abundance and prosperity, it is an art, and it's no different than creating a piece of art, writing a piece of poetry, a story, whatever we do. It comes from that most base place of joy, okay? And so it's really about knowing that we can be artists of our own life. So that's why I call it the manifestation, the art of manifestation. And manifestation as art really is talking about manifesting what we want, our true heart's desire. This is intentional manifestation. Okay, so there's a difference. There's intentional manifestation and there's unintentional manifestation. And we manifest unintentionally all the time. We do this constantly. So really manifestation, like I said, is just working with the universe to bring us what we desire, our heart's desire, what we want most in the world. Okay, so it's just bringing to us what we want on some level. All right. And it's part of our human condition to want to have a better life, I believe. We all want that. We all want to know better. We all want to do better. We all want to do better for
Michelle,
ourselves. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to see if maybe you can lower the broadband. If you see the top of your screen, can you hear me? If
Yeah.
you see the top of your screen, you browse and you're gonna see like a gear and a camera and a microphone. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's like a signal icon. Do you see it between the gear and the camera? If you click there, you can lower the broadband. And because I think we're losing you a little bit with the audio.
Is that better?
We talk.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So because we all, as humans, want to strive to be better, to raise our human condition, to do better, to know better, to have more of what we want, not necessarily material possessions, but just more opportunities, more magic in our lives. We want to grow. And because of this, manifestation is essential. It's the most essential part of our experience as humans, okay? And without our awareness, without our concentrated focus and intention, intentional manifestation is not possible. Okay? So, when we talk about manifestation, we usually think about the law of attraction. That comes up all the time. We know that really well. The Secret was a very popular book and movie. And basically, what that says is whatever we think, we create. So we create the life that we have pictured in our brain. So our thought creates our reality. Or what we send out comes back to us like a boomerang. I always like to think of it like that. Whatever I'm sending out into the universe is going to come back to me. So whatever thoughts we send out, they come back in the form that we asked that we sent them out in. So this is where we've got to be really, really careful and really, really clear about what we think and how we manifest. Okay. So this is where our belief systems come into play a lot. So if we believe that something is going to be hard, it will be hard. If we believe that something is going to be easy, it will be easy. If we believe that manifesting is hard, it will be hard. We all have people in our lives that we know that seem like life is effortless for them. They just think about it and it appears it's all just easy and effortless. Well, that is what they believe. They believe life is easy and effortless. If we believe life is fun, life will be fun. If we believe that we are capable of joy and that we want to be in joy, joy will find us. Okay, so it really is up to us. We just have to be aware of what's going on with our thoughts. And sometimes when I'm coaching people or even with myself, we have a dream or we have a desire, something that's in our heart that we want so much. And there's fear around it, and it feels a little overwhelming and too big. It seems almost unattainable for us to go for our dreams, right? And to manifest something so big. But what I really want us to know today, and this is important, because the manifestation and the ability of the universe to make all of our dreams come true, that gift is available to every single one of us. It's not available only to a select few. It's not available only to the lucky people or the chosen ones. It's available to every single human walking this earth. We all have the same opportunity, which to me is such a gift. And it's up to us whether we want to harness that gift and take advantage of it or not. Okay? But it's up to us to tap into it. It's always there for us. The gift is always there. It's up to us to receive it, unwrap it, and utilize it, okay? And we really have to begin with our thoughts. We want to look really closely at them. We want to tweak our belief systems. And more importantly, not more importantly, sorry, but equally important are the words. The words are so important because words are energy. They have a life of their own. And whatever words we use have energy, and we put them out into the universe, and then that energy comes back to us. So we want to be really, really aware of how we're speaking, mostly about ourselves, but about everything. But our self-talk is really, really important. So if we think about what a normal day looks like, we throw out some pretty negative comments about ourselves all day long, whether it's just in our thoughts or in actual spoken words to other people. But we do this all of the time. So we might say things like, I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy, or I will never be successful, or I'm poor, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not a good writer, whatever it is that comes up for you. We all have our own issues, right? We all have our own belief systems, our own patterns about ourselves that we need to work on and release. But whatever those words are that are coming up, you just want to be really aware of them because they limit us, right? They really, really limit the abundance and the prosperity that we're opening ourselves to. It sets a wall around us, literally. It's like a boundary saying, I'm not worth any of this. I'm not worth this gift that the universe is trying to give to me. So we want to be really, really aware of that. Because all of those things that we just talked about, all of those limiting beliefs and those limiting comments, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm always going to be poor. Those things, they just bring more of that to us. So we're actually undoing all the good that we're trying to do with manifesting when we do that, okay? And they are such habits and such deeply rooted patterns that it takes a lot of effort to realize and to see them and to notice when it's happening. It's just how we're taught. It's just how we grow up most of the time. And so we want to be aware of it. We want to notice it, and we want to change that verbiage, okay? So when we say those things, those limiting beliefs and those statements of us not being enough or whatever, those lack statements, when we send those out into the universe, we get those back. And this is what I mean by unintentional manifestation. We're not intending to bring all that stuff to us. If somebody said, you're creating all of this heaviness or, more lack, all of this stuff that you actually don't want, it's hard for us to accept that or to believe that we would do that to ourselves because none of us want to do that. We want abundance. We want to be happy. We all do. We may not see the exact path to it, but we all want it in our heart. So this is unintentional manifestation. We do it every day. We do it often, some of us more often than others, but we just want to be aware of it because when we do catch ourselves being unintentionally manifesting what we don't want, we can stop it and change our verbiage, change our words, and send positive love and light out into the universe about ourselves and bring that back to us, right? So the art of intentional manifestation, again, intentional manifestation begins with that awareness of the words and the language that we use about ourselves and about our life and about the people in our life and the experience of our lives. Like, I remember I used to say all the time, I never win anything. I never win anything. And then one day I heard myself saying that and I was thinking, what are you doing? Like, why would you say that? You never win anything. Well, maybe that was the story that I had told myself or that I had lived in up until that moment that I really was aware of what I had been saying. But I chose to change it that day. So when I would catch myself saying, I never win anything, I would turn that around and say, I'm a winner all the time. I win all the time. And this bracelet, in fact, I did win a contest. Someone entered me in a contest on Instagram and I won it. And it was wonderful. And it was just the universe's validation that I was aware of how I was limiting myself with my language and my words about myself. And I became aware, I became focused, and I changed it. And the universe answered me with another gift. Such a beautiful validation of magic and our part of the magic. Magic is not something that happens to us. It is not something outside of us that comes to us. Magic is from within us. It begins within us and comes out from us and back to us. Okay, so that's really important to know. A lot of times we have the idea or the belief system that it's stuff that happens around us, outside of us. But it really is from within us. Magic doesn't happen to us, it happens with us. Okay, we're in concert with the universe creating the magic. So we really need to know that and be aware of it. Okay. So when we're mindful of these self-limiting talk that we engage in, we want to just, as quick as we can, notice it and change it. Okay, switch it up. And whatever the limiting belief is I'm always going to be poor. No, I live in abundance. I'm going to be rich. I am rich. Money is my friend. I'm a money magnet, right? Just whatever we can do to switch that up, we want to do that. Okay, so now that we've talked about how we got to where we might have a hang up with manifestation, let's talk about how exactly we can manifest. Okay, so and it is an art, as I said. It's an art. It's a creative process that we want to engage in, and I really love to think of it in terms of a game. Not a game like it's meaningless and silly, but a game in that it's fun. Like, what exactly can I manifest? How quickly can I manifest it? I love to do that because that engages me with the magic and the joy and the fun of being human and living in this world and being a co-creator, a magical manifester along with the universe. We're in partnership together. Each of us is in partnership with the universe to manifest our heart's desires. And we need to remember that. It's not happening outside of us, it's happening within us. Okay? So I believe, and this is what I have found for myself, there are basically 6 steps. And I like to put things like, I like to have a clear-cut path, a clear blueprint. That helps me. Steps that I can know that I've done this and how have I done, and maybe I need to go and, bolster that step a little bit. But it just really helps me to see where I'm at and to be on course so that I know that I'm manifesting in the highest vibration that I can. Okay? So there are 6 steps to this. And usually when I decide that I want to manifest something, I like to start with a concentrated time that I set aside to begin the process. So this is for big steps. So this is usually for if I want a new job, or if I want to be on Mindalia TV, something like that. If I want to attract a partner or a love interest or a new opportunity of some sort. I usually like to set aside time to begin that process. It's like sacred time. I carve it out and I'm dedicating that part of my day to this manifestation because it's important. It's really important. And I usually try to do that with some type of a meditation. So it doesn't need to necessarily be a complete meditation where, I'm in silence and I'm clearing my mind. It can be I believe that our whole day is meditation. Everything that we do can be a beautiful meditation, a beautiful sacred homage to being human and to living our most magical life we can. But so it's whatever feels right to you. I just like to set aside some dedicated time and space to creating this process of manifestation. Okay. After that, then it might just be the thoughts of what it is that you want to manifest. It might come in the form of thoughts or daydreaming, whatever. It doesn't have to be that much concentrated time. But to begin with, I always like to set aside that time. That says a few things. First of all, it says I'm important. It says that we're important when we set aside time for ourselves and only ourselves. Secondly, it says that what I want to manifest is important. It's worthy of my time, my attention. I'm worthy of my time and my attention. I know that the universe is just waiting for me to take that time and see that I'm important and that what I want is important. Okay? So, step one. And this is a very important step and something that I feel is we need to practice it often so that it becomes a pattern and a habit, because it's a wonderful habit to get into. And sometimes we forget. We can get busy and we can forget all about this first step, which is clearing your energy. Okay, so this is really important because as humans, we incorporate energy from everywhere, from everybody, all of the time. And it weighs us down and it takes up space, physical, emotional, energetic space. And it makes us feel heavy. And sometimes it weighs us down and our vibration isn't quite as high as we would like it to be. So I like to think about clearing my energy and getting to a place of zero. So I'm clearing to a place of neutrality, where I'm just clean, right? And the way that I like to think about this is when I'm manifesting or when I'm setting my intention to manifest, I want to be vibrating at my highest vibration. So I want to bring in all of that wonderful, high vibrating feelings and emotions and energy. And if I'm already full, I can't bring on anything else. So you can't put something in an already full cup, right? You have to empty it before you can fill it again. So that's what we want to think about this as. I'm emptying myself, creating space for all of the new that I want to bring in. Okay? So I usually do that with a prayer, a simple prayer of releasing whatever I've got going, whatever I have that is not mine, or anything that I'm holding on to that no longer serves me, I release it. And I like to visualize releasing the energy, the heavy energy. So for some, visualizing is a really powerful tool, and for others, it isn't quite as powerful. It doesn't work quite as well for them, and I don't really think it matters. I think that what matters is your intention. So if you can visualize releasing all of the heaviness and all of the stuff that you want to let go of, great. And if you can't, that's okay too. It's just as effective just to think about it, just to hold the intention of releasing it all. Okay? But it's just important that you do that. Another thing that I love to use to clear myself and spaces around me and things is sage. Sage is a wonderful tool. It's really high vibrating and it's a great cleaner and it clears. I use it often, and it also helps us to remind ourselves that we're in a sacred space and that this is sacred time and that we're doing something important. One thing that I use probably the most to help me clear myself, other than my visualization and intention, is salt. And when I'm talking about salt as a cleaner, I'm talking about complete clean salt. So that means salt that's fully intact. It's got all of its 50 trace minerals intact. It hasn't been heat treated or chemically processed, or it's complete. And when we've got complete salt, it works beautifully with us as humans for energy, for our emotional, physical, mental, spiritual body. It's just almost like the perfect source for us. We're all mineral deficient. And so this really replaces our minerals, besides the fact that it's a really effective cleaner. Okay, so what I mean by that is all of that energy that we absorb from other people, from all the electronic devices that we use, from vehicles, from pollution, all of those are positive ions. And what happens is those positive ions build up in us, in our physical and our energetic body. And science now knows that those positive ions are linked to some diseases. So we really don't want them. And we've got a lot of them. And so we want to rid ourselves of them as much as we can. And salt, complete salt again, is a wonderful way to do this because when it's in the right form, it acts as an ionizer, meaning that it acts as a negative ion that goes into our physical and energetic body and attaches to the positive ion and pulls it out. So that's a wonderful tool for us to utilize because sometimes our intention and our visualization isn't quite enough because we've got such an overabundance of these positive ions. Okay, so we really want to be aware of that. Another tool that I love to use for clearing are essential oils. But again, it's specific essential oils. You want to use only the highest grade of the highest quality therapeutic grade essential oils when you're using essential oils. If I'm going to use essential oils, first of all, I'm going to spend my money and then I'm going to spend my very valuable time to use an essential oil. I really want it to do what it says it will do. And if you use 100% therapeutic grade essential oils always, they will do that. They have to be really high quality though, high quality therapeutic grade, not necessarily organic, but highest quality therapeutic grade essential oils. So, and some of the oils that I really love for cleaning and clearing my energy, myself and my space is lemon, juniper, eucalyptus, spruce, lemon. Those are all fantastic. Rosemary is also fantastic. Sometimes I like to say the Ho'oponopono prayer. If any of you are aware of the Ho'oponopono, it's just a beautiful ancient prayer from Hawaii, and it's just 4 lines. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And the purpose of that prayer is to clean us, to get us to zero, to where we are clean and clear and ready to be filled. Okay? All right, now on to step 2. Grounding. This is also incredibly essential whenever we want to manifest because when we are manifesting, as I stated earlier, we are partners with the universe when we're manifesting. And we want to remind ourselves of this always. It is a partnership. And so when we're manifesting with the universe, we want to be completely connected to the universe, right? To our highest self. But in order to do that, we need to be grounded as well. All right. We cannot connect to our highest self, our spiritual self, and to the universe unless we're grounded. Otherwise, we're in our head. We're in our thoughts. We're in our mind. And that is not spiritual connection. There's a difference there. So we want to be really aware of that. Okay. And the way that I think is the best way to ground is to get back in our physical body. And this is super important because we live most of our lives up here in our mind. This is where we are, right? But that's really not living, and that's not experiencing all of our humanness, and we're not grounded in that. So I like to do a quick scan of just my entire body, head to toe, with my eyes closed, and just feel the entire body. And I'm not on the purpose of changing anything, or if I feel pain or discomfort, I'm not there to fix it. I'm just getting aware of my body. And when I become aware of my body, that automatically grounds me. That automatically opens, our lower 3 chakras, those energy centers that are all about the chakras of matter and manifestation. So we really want those open. So when we get in touch with our body, really get in touch with ourselves, we automatically ground. Okay? So again, it's not about connecting with your body in order to change anything that you're feeling. It's just to connect, to get a sense of your whole self, your complete self. Because when we are up here, most of the time we forget that we even have this, right? Unless we're feeling pain or discomfort. But other than that, we just go about our business and forget that we even have a body a lot of the times. So once I've done that body scan, then I like to imagine roots growing from my feet into the earth, deep into the earth. And again, this can be a visual, it can just be an intention. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you ground yourself, okay? And then I like to assess each of the energy centers and just see what's going on and clear them as much as I can. And again, essential oils are wonderful for this. The conifers are great at doing this. They are, if you think about the conifers, they've got really tall, straight trunks, and they're completely, in the earth. They've got a strong root system. They stay green all year long. They provide a lot of protection to lots of animals that need it. They are just very grounded. They are the epitome of grounding. So those conifer oils like cedarwood and cypress and juniper and spruce and those things, they are wonderful to help us ground. Okay? So once we're grounded, we've cleaned, we've cleared, we've grounded. Now we're on to step 3. And that's all about protection. And this is essential. We really, really want to protect ourselves whenever we are doing anything of a spiritual nature. So whenever we're wanting to manifest, whenever we're, connecting to our higher self or to the spiritual realm, we want to make sure that we're protected because we're opening ourselves up, and that means we're opening ourselves up to anything. Okay? And when we're doing something of this nature, like we're intentionally manifesting, we only want love and light. We don't want anything else to come in. So we want to be really, really clear that that's all we're allowing. Okay? So again, we're opening ourselves up. So we want to be aware that we are opening ourselves up and that we're only opening up so much and only to that which we want. So I really love to visualize or set the intention of surrounding myself in a bubble of white light. And we want this bubble to go completely around us. So all around our head, bottoms of our feet, up and around our entire selves, closing in our energetic body. Okay? So it's like we've created a nice little bubble so that only what we want to come in can come in. Okay? And I envision it in white light, always white light. Then we've got salt again. Salt is a wonderful protector because it creates a beautiful barrier around us. So along with that bubble of white light, the salt will help us to protect ourselves. I like to use salt as a barrier, for other things as well, not just myself, but my home. It's a protector around my home. I can create, I leave salt and do a little boundary of salt around my house or around doorways, things like that just create a safe space. Okay, it's very important. And then again, the essential oils that do that are the florals and the citrus are wonderful for that. So I love bergamot because bergamot is both floral and citrus. I love orange and grapefruit because they smell so good and they elevate our mood. And when we're manifesting, we want to elevate our mood. We want to feel really, really, really good. Okay? All right, so now we're on to step 4. We've cleared. We have grounded. We've protected, and now we're getting to the real meat of our process. So we want to get really clear about what it is that we want to manifest. And what I mean by this is it's not enough for us to just say, I want a new job, or I want a new partner, or I want a partner, or I want love in my life, or I want more opportunities. That is too general. And, again, if we put out general, we're going to get back general. So we want to be really clear. What do you want? What do you want? And we don't want to be too detailed with this either. So we don't want to say, I want a job only at this company that pays this amount of money where I will work only these days. That's too specific. Okay? And what that does is it ties the hands of the universe. So my mentor used to tell me all the time when I would tell her about my manifesting, exercises and that, because I was so very detailed, she would say, oh, you think you're more creative than God. And I would say, well, of course I don't think that. And she would say, well, you're telling the universe exactly what you want and exactly how it's in your highest good. And when she would point that out to me, At first I would think, well, of course I don't do that. But then when I did admit that I did, I could see how that was not in my highest good, because I was saying to the universe that I know what's best for me, rather than saying, this is a wonderful place to start, and I will take this or something better. Because universe, I trust that you know what's in my highest good, so I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow you to bring me to something better, okay? So we want to be really clear. We want to be clear, but we don't want to be too detailed. We want to allow the universe the freedom to bring us what's actually in our highest good. So we sometimes can't see the forest for the trees, and we can only see that this one opportunity or this one job or this one person is the perfect thing for us. But when we get locked in on that, we're not allowing the universe to show us all of the other possibilities and what may be there that might be actually better. Okay, so we just want to be careful about that. So when I want to manifest, what I love to do is get into the feeling of what I want. So if we're talking about a relationship, how do I want to feel in that relationship? Do I want to feel respected? Do I want to feel important? Do I want to feel trusted? Do I want to feel like I'm fun and that I can have fun in the relationship? If it's a job, how do I want to feel in the job? Do I want to feel free to be creative? Do I want to have flexible hours? You know, whatever it is, we want to get into the feeling of it, because that is where we manifest from. We do not manifest from the thought. Okay, this is really, really important. We don't manifest from the thought. We manifest from the feeling that's behind the thought. Okay, so we're only capable of two feelings. We're capable of love and fear. That's it. Two feelings. Wayne Dyer taught us all that, and I'm so grateful to Wayne for teaching us that. But there's just two feelings, love and fear. And a wonderful example of this is abundance consciousness versus poverty consciousness. Okay, so one, we are in abundance and we feel great and we feel like the world is our oyster and we have everything in front of us and all opportunities are ours. And the other one, we feel like there's scarcity, like there's only so much to go around, like there's only so much money and I don't have enough of it, or there's only so much time and I don't have enough of it. And these people get all of the opportunities and there's only so many opportunities and they have them, so I don't have access. Okay, so we want to be really, really aware of that. So if we want to manifest something that is abundant and prosperous, which is really what we want to manifest, right? We're talking intentional manifestation here. If we want to do those things, if we want to manifest abundance and prosperity, we've got to match the feeling to it. Okay, so no matter what the words we say are, the universe goes with the feeling, with the energy behind the words. So the way that I like to think about this is when my clients want to manifest money, or when I want to manifest money, I like to do this exercise of imagining or intending my bank account and seeing money flowing in quickly. It's coming in at just this wonderful pace. It's just flying in, and it trickles out slowly, not too much money, right? Because when we're in poverty consciousness, we feel it's the opposite. It trickles in and it flies out, right? So we want to see the abundance of money. So we want to see it flying into our bank account, flowing at a beautiful rate, and then just slowly going out, just a little bit at a time, so that there's always abundance. So if we're visualizing that or intending that, and while we're intending it, we're feeling, oh, God, I hope this works. I hope it's right. I hope it's this time will be different. I don't know if I trust this. I don't even know if I can make money. That's what the universe hears. It hears all those thoughts and all of those feelings, all those fear feelings. So whatever we're visualizing doesn't really matter, because the fear, the poverty consciousness, is what we send out into the universe. Okay? So we want to be really, really clear. The universe responds to the feelings, not the words. So be aware, be very, very aware of this. Okay? And one thing that I love to do for this is, before I begin manifesting, if I feel like I'm going to have some trouble, or I've started manifesting and I keep going to those poverty consciousness thoughts and feelings, I press pause on the manifestation and I go to a place of joy within myself. So I go to whatever brings me joy. So it could be an experience I had, it could be something I do with my family, a movie I watch, a song I listen to, whatever it is that will fill me with joy. I go to that place and I try to stay there for several minutes, about 5 to 7 minutes. And that really builds the foundation. That gets those feelings stirred up. And as you know, Abraham Hicks says, we're in the vortex then, right? We're in the vortex. So we go to that place of joy and feel good, and we get ourselves nice and comfortable. And then we bring in what we want to manifest. Okay, that's where we clearly state what it is that we want to manifest. And we bring in those feelings of what we want to manifest, and it becomes reality. The next step, step 5, is releasing it. We want to really release it out into the universe. Okay, so we've clearly stated what we want, and now this is where we release it. So we're clear about it, and we're going to send it out with intention. And I literally like to visualize myself giving it back to the universe. It's like a gift I'm giving, this high vibrating manifestation that I'm giving out to the universe. And I like to see myself with my hands open, giving it to the universe. And then I say, and so it is. And I thank the universe for the gift, that as if it's already occurred, because it has. I've just given it to the universe, and so it is, right? So we want to release, and it's really important that we actually see ourselves open-handed with this, okay? We really want to be open-handed when we're releasing it to the universe. And then step 6, this is a little bit of a tricky step. This is the allowing part, okay? We want to allow it. So this means patience. Patience isn't always a strong suit, okay? And I used to get really stuck in this part, in this step, because I felt like I had done my job, I had done my part, and my magical co-creating partner, the universe, wasn't living up to theirs because I had a time frame on it, right? I had a specific time in which something was to happen, and that trips us up. So when we've got a specific time frame and it doesn't occur in that time frame, what happens? We go into the poverty consciousness. We start thinking, oh, well, it's not working, right? I'm doing something wrong. The manifestation isn't working. Something's wrong with my co-creating partner. The universe isn't hearing me, whatever it is, right? So we want to be really aware of this, because our job, we've done it clearly. We've cleared ourselves, we've grounded ourselves, we've protected ourselves, we've gotten really clear about what we want, and we've released it to the universe, right? And so now we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, wondering why it's not happening in our time frame. And this really is about us loving to be in control. We want to be in control. That makes us feel in control, right? And that's really what we all want. We want to feel like we're in control of our lives. And we are. We're just not in control in the way that we think we are, okay? I used to say all the time, I would be fine if I just knew that in 6 months blank was going to happen. Like, I can wait all day. I can be the most patient person, but that's really not the point of it. The point is the not knowing. The point is accepting that we are where we are and that it is what it is, right? And accepting our part of this co-creation manifestation process. And being in the details of that, of the timing, of the how, the when, the where, that's not our job at all. That is not our job. That's the job of the universe. And when we try to play that role, when we try to take on that job, we're tying the universe's hands, okay? So you really want to let go and try not to force it. Try not to force it. So those open hands that we had when we were releasing it, we want to employ those again, okay? And every single time that I have done this in my life, when I have been trying to hold on tightly and control the details, the how, the when, the where, it wasn't working. And as soon as I let go, it came in and it came in better than I even could have imagined. My house is a perfect example of this. I had a home I loved. We thought we wanted another home. I saw my home in February. I knew the minute I walked in that this was my home. I felt intuitively in every fiber of my being that this was my home. It didn't work out. The owner wasn't interested in selling it to us, so it didn't work out. We looked for other homes, but none of them felt like home. See, I went back to the feeling. They all looked great on paper, but they were not my home, and I knew that. And so I let go of trying to control it and find a home. And I loved the home that I was in. And I just was grateful for where I was. And I trusted that if and when another home came available that was my home, I would know it. Well, I let go in probably mid-July. I said, I'm done with this process. I'm just going to be happy and joyful where I am. And at the beginning of August, the owner of the home, my current home, called me magically. I don't even know how he really had my number to call, but he did. And it was just a magical process from then on. And I'm so thankful that it didn't work out in my timing, because I got my dream home at a much discounted rate. The price was so much lower than when I had originally seen it in February. So the universe knew exactly what it was doing. I just needed to trust it. Okay, so I needed to sit back and allow. That's the art. That's part of the art, is to just sit back and allow the universe to bring its magic to you. Don't try to force the magic. Don't try to find it everywhere that it isn't. Just sit back and allow. Okay? So, and it was really important when it comes to my home. I want to say one thing really quickly. I know I'm going long, but I felt intuitively that this was my home. And so when it didn't work out, I questioned myself and thought, well, why was I so sure that that was my home if it wasn't my home? And it was my home, just not in the timing that my human mind stated it was to be my home. Okay? So we don't want to get into that poverty consciousness even with ourselves and our own feelings and our own intuition, because the timing is not ours to know, right? It's not ours. We just need to step away from it and sit back and allow. So to review, here are the steps. Again, we clear our energy, we get grounded, we get into our body, we get out of our head, out of our brain, and into our body. We protect ourselves so that we make sure that our vibration is high. We get really clear about what we want to manifest, but we stay out of the details and we go with the feelings of it. We release it to the universe, saying thank you and acting as if it's already here. And then we sit back open-handed and allow it. And when we do this, when we really sit back and allow it, it always comes to us better than we could have imagined. Always. I've experienced that time and time again. So the idea of manifestation isn't new, but how to do it is often hard for us. And we focus on the thoughts and not the feelings. So that's what I want to leave you with today. Feel more. Feel your intuition, feel your body, feel what feels right, and trust it. Okay? And these steps that I've laid out, these 6 steps, they're just a tool that you can add to your spiritual toolbox, available to you when you need it, when you really want to manifest. Okay? And this is my method for intentional manifesting. It's worked for me over and over and over again. I've really tried it and experimented with it, and it's worked for a lot of my clients. So I encourage you all to try it, and I thank you all again for watching and being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michele, for sharing so much information, and it's so valuable.
Thank you.
On behalf of our audience, we want to thank you. Okay. We're gonna go to the Q&A section, but before going there, as always, we remind our audience that Mindalia TV is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is just to share human knowledge and wisdom throughout the world, because we are convinced that this can be a better place, and we just want to raise the level of consciousness. And you can help us just by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, sending it to someone that you think can be, grateful for it, and leaving us a positive comment down below. That's the way you help us reach as much people in the world as possible. We're going to go to the Q&A section. I'm going to start saying the questions. You won't see my face, but you will hear my voice. I'm going to be right here, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And the first question that we have is, I fear not being able to provide for my family. Am I attracting poverty with that thought?
Absolutely. When we, again, it goes with the feeling. So when we're in fear, we constrict, we close up. And that's the opposite of what we want to do when we want to provide for our family. We want to be in abundance, right? We want to be in abundance consciousness so that we can provide really well for our family and enjoy doing it. And when we fear that we won't be able to provide, we constrict and we close off. And that fear is what we send out into the universe over and over and over again. So we just get more of it. So when we say, I'm afraid I won't be able to provide for my family, that's the energy that we put out to the universe. And we won't be able to because we won't get the opportunity to. Or it'll get harder and harder. That's also what happens. I like to think of it like a garden hose. When the hose is completely open, the water flows beautifully and we can, utilize the water. But if there's a kink in the hose, it shuts the flow off completely, right? And so we want to be really mindful of that because that flow is about abundance, and the abundance comes from us first and foremost. We want to enjoy life. We're here to enjoy life, to be joyful, to be happy, to, make ourselves happy first and foremost, and then everybody else around us. And in order to do that, we need to be in flow. We need to be in alignment. We need our garden hose not kinked. We need that water flowing, which is abundance, and we just need to be completely connected. So I hope that answered the question. So when you're in fear about that, think about your family and how much you love them and how much joy they bring you, and then come from that place. Start there and then think about how the money just flows to you.
Thank you so much, Michele. The next question says, what is more important, words, thoughts, or the way we feel?
I believe it's our feeling because the feeling is the energy. Okay, so the thoughts and the words all have energy as well, but it's really the feeling, the energy of the feeling that's with the thought or with the word that sends it out to the universe. That's the energy that goes out to the universe. So like I said, we can be affirming all day long, right? We can be saying, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am abundant, I am successful, I'm a magical manifester. But if the feeling, if while we're saying that, we've got a pit in our stomach that says, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I believe this, or I really hope that this is true, that feeling overpowers all those affirmations. That's why I always love to start any type of manifesting, whether it be affirmations or, manifesting exercise from a place of joy. So oftentimes that's where I utilize the Ho'oponopono prayer to kind of get me to a place of zero, get me back to that place of neutral, where I can release those fear and those lack thoughts and come to a place of abundance and joy and build from there. So I definitely think it's the feelings.
Thank you, Michele. The next question says, how can I convince myself I have done everything possible to lose weight and I can't accomplish it?
Weight is a really tricky thing. We carry weight for lots of different reasons, and I believe it's never an easy issue, and it's never just one reason. So I believe, like all physical things that we go through, this is my opinion, that they all have an emotional and a spiritual component to them. They're just the outward manifestation of, other things that are going on or lots of different needs we have. So when we want to deal with weight, for myself, when I have lost weight, and time and time again, this is one of my processes that I go through. I find that the more in joy I can be about my body, the more my body loves me, and the weight goes. It's almost effortless. But that's because I'm in joy about my body. I'm in abundance consciousness about my body. I'm not in poverty consciousness. When we're looking at our bodies and feeling about our bodies that we don't like it, I don't like my hips, I don't like my thighs, I don't like whatever it is, that's poverty consciousness. And that just brings more of it to us. But if we can be in abundance consciousness, then we bring that to us as well. And our body loves that and really, really responds beautifully.
Thank you, Michele. Next question says, I have been in several job interviews and I don't get hired. My friend gave me affirmations to read out loud. I practiced it for the last 2 job interviews, but they didn't call me. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, I would say that I would like you to take pause for a moment and look at where your feelings were before the job interviews, okay? Because there's nervousness, that's excitement. That comes from a place of those love feelings, right? It's excitement, it's opening. It's excitement that, ooh, this is a possibility and I may get this, and this is really exciting that I'm even interviewing. And then there's the nervousness that comes from, what if I don't do well? I need this job so badly. We close up. And what did we talk about? What did I talk about during these steps of manifestation? It's really important that we're open. We want to be open-handed. We want to be open-hearted when we're talking about manifesting, because that signals the universe, I'm ready. I'm open and I'm allowing it. When we're closed, it's like we've asked the universe to bring everything and then we close the door and we don't allow anything in. So when you go for the interview, again, go back and look at how you were feeling. Were you sure of yourself? Because like I said, we can say these affirmations all day long, but if the feeling's not there behind it, they don't really do us much good. There is that idea of fake it till you make it, but I have found much more success when I get into the place of joy and love. Okay, so the feeling of, what do I want to feel in this job? What will this job bring me? What will this job provide me? Those are feelings of excitement. You start getting excited. And then you're more yourself also. So when we go into a job interview and we're really, really nervous and we're not sure of ourselves, that comes across. That's the energy. It doesn't really matter what words we say, it's the energy behind the words. So we want to be mindful of that. So I would just say, maybe again, really look at your energy before you went into those 2 job interviews and see how you might tweak it or what you might be able to do differently to prepare yourself, to prepare the foundation for those affirmations so that you say them and they're effective for you when you go into the job interview. Okay? The other thing that I'm going to say about that is, it's not always our fault that we didn't get a call. Sometimes it's not for us, right? It's hard for us to understand, but sometimes the job is not for us. It's not in our highest good. And we can't see that because we just see that we need a job and it's a source of income, right? But it's important that we just remind ourselves of that. What is that saying that, I can't think, but, not getting something is protection. So we just want to be mindful of that.
Thank you. That was a very, very good answer. The next one says, I want to heal my relationship with my mother. I feel like wounds from the past have me stuck at several areas in my life. What do you recommend?
Okay, so this is something that I touched on briefly at the beginning about the stories that we tell ourselves. So I think family relationships and family patterns are probably the most challenging thing that we can work on. And they're very deep. These patterns are literally part of our DNA. So it's a challenge to acknowledge them, to recognize them, and then to know how to move beyond them, and then to actually move beyond them. But it's possible. And especially with mothers, I think that's a challenging relationship because we have huge expectations, and, our moms are very important in our lives. But whenever I want to change a relationship, I want to start with the story that I've been telling about the relationship, okay? Because our stories reveal everything to us. The story that we've been told or that we've been telling about this relationship shows us, it brings to our awareness what we believe about ourselves in the relationship and what we believe about the other person in the relationship. And in order for us to change that, we have to change the story. So if we feel that, for instance, if we feel like we didn't have a particularly nurturing mother, right? That we didn't really get the kind of mothering that we wanted. That's the story that we've told ourselves. And so every single time we tell that story, we perpetuate it, we send that energy out into the universe, and that's more of what we get. We get more of that, more of we were not nourished by our mother, right? So we want to change that story. And oftentimes, when I want to change a relationship with a family member, I look at how I can be in control of my part of the relationship. So if I didn't feel like I was nourished by my mom, that's okay. How can I nourish myself today? Because as an adult, that's my job, right? So that's one way. Change the story and see where you can feel powerful within the story. Where can you get power? Because that's what happens with our old stories. We feel very powerless. We feel very out of control. We feel like somebody else is in control of it, and that never feels good. We never prosper in that type of a story or in that type of environment. So we really need to find how we can feel powerful. So write a new story. Find a new way to look at the relationship. One thing that helps me is I give myself permission sometimes to take a step back from the relationship, maybe press pause, or not be as available as I always felt I had to be. Whatever it is, it's about you taking control and creating the rules and creating the story according to what you want. That's the best place to start, is first recognizing the story that you've told, and then realizing that you want to write a new story and finding out what you want the story to be. Okay?
Thank you, Michele. Next question says, can we catch bad energies from others in public places? I feel like when I am in a crowd, I feel upset, and it takes me a while to feel better again. What can we do to prevent that from happening?
Absolutely. That is such a fantastic question. Thank you. All the questions have been great. But I really love these questions about absorbing energy and what we can do to protect ourselves, because this is essential to us keeping our moods elevated. As I said before, we absorb everything all day long. So we've got this energetic body that extends out from our physical body about arm's length, all the way around, all above our head, below our feet, all the way around. And it's like a sponge. So just like a sponge, it absorbs everything. So as we're walking around all day, or just, engaging with people, even with people on, electronics like this, on Mindalia TV or on social media, we absorb energy. We're this sponge, and it's like we've got magnets, and it's just attaching to everything and pulling it in. So what happens as we take all that in, we don't know where our feelings stop and other people's start. We don't know what's ours and what's not. So we feel really heavy, and we don't know how to handle it. And we try to fix it, but we can't, because it's not ours, right? We can't fix what's not ours. So that prayer that I said in the first step, I release anything that's not mine or anything that no longer serves me. that prayer literally says, whatever I've absorbed from somebody else, I'm willing to release it. Okay? So that's a wonderful way to do it. We can visualize. But what I love to do is protect myself from the get-go, so that when I'm going in public, or I know that I'm going to be doing something like this for an extended period of time, where I'm going to be in contact with a lot of different people in their energy and a lot of positive ions that we talked about earlier, I want to protect myself. And what that means is filling in all those holes in that spongy part of our etheric body. So if you think of it just like a literal sponge, when it's dry, it can hold a lot. But once it's full, it can't take on anymore. So we want to fill our etheric energetic bodies so that we can't take on everybody else's. So this is where we can surround ourselves in the white light. Like, I provide a protective bubble around myself. I put those bubbles around me. I put them around my loved ones. I put them around my car or any vehicle or any airplane, anything that I'm traveling on. I surround it in white light. I call in my angels to help protect me. Salt is a wonderful protector also. Just whatever you can do to fill your etheric energetic body up before you go in. And then what that does is your energy will come to you, but you won't absorb it. You don't take it on. And this is part of why I feel like we've got such a depression issue in the world right now, is because we are all so connected, physically, virtually, everywhere we go, and we're not aware of it. We're not protecting ourselves against all of these positive ions that we're absorbing. And so, like I said, we're inundated with other people's energy and we don't even realize it. And we try to feel good, but we can't fix what's not ours. So I look at it this way. I have enough of my own stuff to take care of and to try to figure out and to work through all of my own belief systems and patterns and everything. I've got enough. I don't need anybody else's, right? So protection, protection, protection. So white light, a bubble, salt, essential oils, anything that you can do to protect yourself is perfect.
Thank you so much, Michele. And the next question is, do pets absorb or help us clean the energy around us? Pets?
Pets like dogs and cats and things like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yes, they do. So when I talk about us having that sponge, right, we hear the word empath. And I don't believe that that is a quality that is associated with a select number of people. I believe everybody is empathic to some degree. It's, we're all on the dial. It's just a matter of how tuned in we are, right? So some of us are more empathic than others, but we're all empathic. So it's important that we protect ourselves always. That being said, pets are even more empathic than us as humans are. They are so connected to us and they know exactly what we're going through. And they are sponges as well. So we want to be really, really careful with our pets, that we give them protection from us and our energy and everybody else's energy that they come in contact with. We know that how connected they are because we don't have to say a word to them. If we're feeling down, they know. And they come and they try to lift our spirits, right? And they take it on, and that's not good for them. And when we take on others' energy, whether it's our pets taking on our energy or us taking on other people's energy, when we don't deal with it and we don't protect ourselves and release it, it causes physical, emotional damage, okay? It makes us ill. So we want to be really, really aware of that and know that we need to protect any living thing needs to be protected.
Thank you, Michele. Next question says, what can you tell me about metals? Do they or does it have properties also in energy fields? Metals, like metallic objects?
Yes, absolutely. I believe everything has energy. everything that we come in contact with has energy, and metals do have energy. And some people love to wear gold, some people love to wear silver. They all have their different properties. I'm not really skilled on the properties of every single metal and what they do, or all the crystals and all the gems and all that, because I like to be led intuitively. If I'm feeling drawn to gold, I'll wear gold. If I'm feeling drawn to silver, I'll wear silver. But they absolutely do carry energy, and we want to be aware of it, because sometimes, I'll think, oh, I'll wear this today and I'll put it on, and it just doesn't feel right. And it's because wherever my vibration is, it's not interacting with that metal's vibration at the time. And that's up to us to be aware of that. We've got to be mindful of that. That's that awareness that I was talking about earlier, that's not up here, but that's actually in our body and our feeling and our intuition. We want to be really aware of that. And the metals and the crystals and the gems, they absorb energy as well. They absorb our energy. I have a salt lamp in every single room of my house, because it's salt and ionizer, and it absorbs the energy. And I clean them. Once a month I put them out under the full moon so that they're clean. I put my jewelry out there, my moonstones and my aventurines and everything that I have, I put out to clean it under the energy of the moon, because it absorbs just like we do.
Thank you so much. That's very interesting. And let's see, the next question says, for how long do we need to practice those exercises before we see things materialize in our life? I want a new car.
Okay, so if we're talking about wanting a new car, I'm going to go back to the example I gave of my house. I manifested this new house, but I was in love with the current house I was in. That's a very, very important aspect of that manifestation story that I want to emphasize. I was in love with the house I was in. And I set the intention when I wanted to look for a new house that I want to love a new house as much as my current house or more. So this goes back to that, what I said of this or something better, right? So we want to start with being in gratitude for your car. And this doesn't mean that we need to think that the car that you currently have is the greatest car, that it's just the most spectacular car ever. But we want to be grateful for it. So even if we just want to be in gratitude that it drives us and gets us from point A to point B and allows us to, travel safely and quickly and everything that a car does, we want to be there. So we want to be in a place of gratitude for what we already have. And then we want to go to the feelings of what we want to feel in the new car. So is it that you want to have a great stereo system so that you listen to all of your favorite music in a wonderful way as you're traveling? Do you want to have a sunroof so that you can see the sky? Do you want a convertible so that you can feel your hair blowing in the wind? Whatever it is, whatever feeling you want to evoke with the new vehicle, go there. Is it safety? Whatever it is, you want to put yourself there. And when I want a new car or when I want something like that, I like to invoke that feeling while I'm in the current car. So I would really say, every time you get in the car, first of all, say thank you for it. Thank you for the transportation that it provides you, and the safety that it does, whatever it does. And then think, oh, whatever feeling you want with the new car, put yourself in that as you're driving the current car. Okay, so that's going to bring you to the place of abundance. And then it's just a matter of how often you can bring yourself to that place of abundance. Because the way that I like to look at this when we're manifesting is, the trick is not to never have the poverty consciousness thoughts or those thoughts of lack. I feel like that's asking too much. That's almost impossible. We're human, right? We're here to learn. We're here to know better and do better. And that's the process. So that's not my intention, is to never have those thoughts. I just try my best to become aware of the thoughts as soon as I can. Those limiting or those thoughts of fear. Become aware of them as soon as I can, and when I do, change them. So whatever energy I've started to send out with them, I can stop it, and that those feelings of abundance and those thought feelings that have those abundance feelings behind them, they travel so fast and so quick. So they're really, who knows how fast it can come. That's up to you and the universe, right? What's in your highest good. But again, my story about the house, just because it's not in our time frame doesn't mean it isn't working. It just means it's not our time yet. And we need to trust and be patient. Okay?
Thank you.
Sorry, I was just going to say, however many times you need to do the steps, you'll know. The more in joy and in love with it you can be, the faster you bring it to you.
Thanks. That's a very good answer. And I think it applies to so many different
everything
topics and areas. We're almost ready. We're almost reaching the end of the
Okay.
questions. The next one says, can we also heal our physical body?
I believe we can. Are they wondering, can we heal our physical body with these feelings and thoughts, like manifesting physical healing? I believe that's what they're asking.
Yeah, I think that what they're asking is about manifesting health.
Absolutely. Because again, I believe that we bring it to us. There's a lot of people talking right now about diseases and physical ailments actually being part of patterns, not literal scientifically in our bodies, but the belief system of having that is in our bodies. So, my family, we could say this statement, my family has a lot of heart conditions, and so I'm going to have heart conditions. Or my family has a history of cancer, therefore I won't be surprised when I get cancer. That is literally saying to the universe, I'll get cancer, right? Those are the thoughts that we're putting out there. And we have that feeling, we have that belief, the belief that this is the way it goes. It is this way, and that I just need to accept it. But I don't believe that, and I do believe we can heal, and I've seen it within myself. So I come from a long line of warriors and, a lot of fear consciousness. And I used to not sleep at night. I was up in the night worrying about, how I was going to do this, or would this be okay, and what would I do about this? And I just thought it was how I was. I just assumed, this is in my DNA. It's how I am. And then one day I got an inkling of, no, this is a choice. And I started exploring that, and I just started opening myself up to the possibility. I didn't say absolutely that day, this is a choice and I'm going to change it. I just said, well, this is interesting. I want to explore this. And as I opened myself up, I opened my hands and my heart, I started getting more and more opportunities for information that showed me that perhaps that was true, that we aren't destined to be this way. And just because we're born into this family, that doesn't mean it has to continue that way, that we can change and heal. And so I started doing some things, and I was led to see Dr. Oz on the Oprah show. And Oprah asked Dr. Oz what was the one thing that we could all do for our health that would have the biggest impact. And I thought he was going to say, eat goji berries or something. I didn't know. This was a long time ago. And I didn't know what he was going to say. But what he did say surprised me. It really shocked me. And I was very skeptical. But he talked about breathing and how we breathe shallow. We breathe from our diaphragm up. And while that oxygenates our blood and keeps us alive, it doesn't do anything to really help the overall health of our body. And he talked a lot about the science of it, and that breath is life. It truly is life. And there's a specific way to breathe. I call it a complete breath. And he demonstrated it on the show. And I thought, well, this seems pretty simple. Like, this is the way to optimum health. I can do that, right? We all breathe anyway. I can try this. And so I tried it, and I slept through the night, that first night. And I've been sleeping through the night ever since. That's been 15 years, over 15 years, that I have been sleeping through the night without medication, without, any other sleep aid, through all sorts of trauma and, life. Life is a roller coaster, so there's ups and downs. So I've maintained that position of sleep, of restful regenerative sleep throughout this time. And it's because of the breath, because that type of breathing that Dr. Oz taught that day actually signals our brain to slow down, to calm down. And it is physiologically the only thing that will do that. It's the only thing that will calm our brain. So I love that. And so, do I believe we can heal ourselves? Absolutely, positively. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of it, we can heal ourselves. Anytime I have a physical condition come up, I always go to what the emotional connection is, and look within to see where I need to work in that area. And it has never failed me. I've always been able to address the physical issue with the emotional and have it take care of it, heal it. So it's a beautiful tool and process that we are given. It's a gift. We all have the gift. We just don't realize it or haven't been told about it. So try it. You'll be surprised and astounded. So
thank you so much, Michele. And now we really reach the end. The last question, and I love it, is why is it so hard to let go?
Well, isn't that the question? And, it is so true. It is so hard to let go. And what I have found for myself, and I can only speak for myself, right? Because it's just what I have experienced and what I know. But we don't want to let go because we feel like that's where our control is. Okay. So we've been told that that's where our control is. We have to be in control of everything in life. We have to know all the details. We have to know how it's going to go. We've got to have the plan. We've got to have the goal. We've got to have the plan in place and know how to do it, right? From start to finish, from A to B, we've got to see the whole thing mapped out. That feels like control to us. And it is controlling, but it's controlling, the unintentional manifestation. And that's not what we want. So if we can just try it, if we can just feel ourselves relax into it and just keep bringing ourselves back to the present moment, that's the control that we have. We have control over what we choose to do right here, right now. We can't control anything that happened in our past. We can't control anything that's going to happen in our future. All we have is this moment. And this goes back to that question before about the relationship with the mother, where I talked about the story. This is why our story is so important, because all we have is our story right now. And it's our choice how we want to live this story. This is our control. This is the only control we have. Everything else is, it's an illusion. It's not reality. And, this is where the fear comes in. So when we're trying to control the past, we get depressed. And when we're trying to control the future, we get anxious, right? We're either in depression or anxiety. And the only place that we can find joy is right here now in this moment. So I hope that helped. But we're looking for control where we can't find it. And the more we don't find it, the more desperate we get, the more panicked we get, and the more we try to grab for it and close ourselves off and kink that hose. We kink that garden hose. So we don't want to do that. We want to open the flow and be in alignment. That's where we find our joy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us and for sharing those answers. Definitely bright and brilliant. Before leaving, one more thing to our audience. And again, we are a nonprofit organization. Our only mission is to share information that can raise the level of consciousness around the world. And you can help us do that just by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, leaving us a positive comment down below, or sharing this with someone that you think can benefit from the content that we shared today. Before leaving, also, we want to ask Michele to leave our audience with a positive thought and her goodbyes for this evening.
Okay, I would just like to tell everybody to believe in yourself. You can do this. You can have the life that you want. You can live the life of your dreams. It may not all come pouring in at once. It's a process and it's a journey, but trust yourself. Feel your way through it, and you can do it. You are love. You are peace. You are abundance.
Thank you, Michele, and goodbye. And to our audience, goodbye, and until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.